Talking clean in a dirty world. Dirty, 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 dirty world. Talking clean in a dirty world.
Folks, welcome back to another episode of Talking Clean in a Dirty World. As you can see, I've got several other gentlemen from Gym Supply and Javier from Modern Cleaning. I'm Dave Thompson. I'm your host. And, well, this afternoon we're going to talk about, you know what, I guess this thing is, I just got to say, I didn't know about this. And as I threw this up, I was told, well, this is old hat. Well, hey, you know, the thing about it is sometimes you got to just hear something again. Maybe I heard it before, but I found it's not a report. It was just a letter that came out. And of course, it was talking about the Internet of Things. Well, actually, what it said was IoT, and I had to look up what IoT was. I've been trying to do a lot of the AI stuff lately, and I got this IoT. I'm like, what the heck is this? So here it is, in case you're like me and you haven't been paying attention. It's, you know, kind of one of these things when you use this phone and it connects to the internet and you do something with it, that's the Internet of Things. Hey, you remember this thing here? You know, it's that thing that you roll along on the wall, you know, on the floor, and right here it counts how many square feet. And you know, today we have these things on our phones that we can do things. I just want to show you. This is one that I teach in class all the time. It's called RoomScan. Folks, I don't know if you've ever used this or not, but instead of using that device, I use RoomScan. You know, guys, I didn't have any idea that I was using something I didn't know anything about called Internet of Things. Is it just me, or did everybody else know about this?
I think it's a pretty short podcast. It's just you.
It's just you, Dave.
Well, hey, that was my version.
I mean, the intro was longer than the actual discussion is going to be.
So now it's yours. Discuss it, guys.
Well, no, I think that's the point, Dave, is that if you, as we get into our busy lives and as we're doing things like that can terminologies and things that are happening around us happen so fast that sometimes they can skip us. And even if we think we're on the cutting edge, and with AI, it's even speeding up more. And the efficiencies that you can do in your business and the efficiencies that you can create in marketing or on your websites and things like that, AI is just speeding it up and speeding it up. And you know, Internet of Things is a thing, and it somehow passed you by, but it didn't. You know, it's there, and that's what I think is important for people, not to let AI pass them by. Not to say, oh, that's something for young people, or that's something for that I don't need to know about. That would be like putting your head in the sand when Google came to the forefront. Wouldn't be a smart move.
Well, I think that what this was also saying, Bobby, as it goes down here, it said, despite of all of this, that in the cleaning sector, we're reluctant to take this in. We're reluctant to use technology. Why is the cleaning sector so reluctant to embrace technology?
Cost.
Well, I think, I mean, in my opinion, I think that I think the cleaning industry has been, I don't want to say typecasted with being an old-fashioned type of business. And the people that grew up in it or have learned about it, it's always something that's not really, or at least the image that they're projecting, that it's not progressive with technology. So it's really, that's why you see people like you just said, Dave, that would come in and they're more old-fashioned in doing things, you know. I mean, just a minute ago, you had the little thing. Yeah, there I use that too. I still use that. I like it. But it's to get people to understand the technology factor. But I just think that, yes, our business, it's not one of those business that, other than the AI, like Bobby said, and all this stuff, it doesn't progress as fast as other businesses in technology, I think.
You know, Javier, this weekend I was with a gentleman that's in the construction industry. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he was showing me on his phone, he says, I've got $5 million worth of rental equipment out on jobs all the time. and I can look on my phone and I can tell you where it's at, how many hours it's been. I can tell you the travel that it did through GPS. But yet, as you said, here in the cleaning industry, we can't even use just the basic Internet of Things. Is what's happening?
Well, I do. I mean, I kind of would disagree with that. I think people are using it. I think it just slowly gets into our industry, because we have people using the inspection app. That RoomScan app has been around. People have been using that, I know, for at least 6-7 years. Yes. And it's just a matter of people finding out that there's an easier way to do something and embracing it. I think what you just said about the guy with the rental, I know of an equipment manufacturer who's coming out with that stuff. So they're going to come out with all that type of reporting for manual equipment. Doesn't even have to be robotic. Right. Because Don doesn't like robots. And, but it'll tell you all that. It'll tell you all that type of information. So, I think it's coming. I think it's just like everything else. I mean, 20 years ago, there was places that didn't have auto scrubbers. And we'd have been sitting here if we were been doing a talk, and it would have been about, why does nobody embrace an auto scrubber? And now everybody's got auto scrubbers. And I say everybody, that's a big word, but most of the facilities have auto scrubbers. And, it just takes a little time for budgets to go and for capital acquisitions like that to happen. But our industry will get there.
So when you said auto scrubbers, Bobby, why do we not have the GPS and the trackers and all this even on an auto scrubber?
Oh, it's coming, Dave. That's what I was telling you about. It's coming. Automated.
No,
not automated.
It can be manual stuff, right?
Oh yeah, the manual stuff, just like that rental guy. I mean, I've seen the pitch. They tell me it's coming. So again, capital acquisition. So if I have a person who bought an auto scrubber today, he's not buying another one for 4 or 5 years at a facility, most likely, maybe even longer. It's going to take 4 or 5 years for that to then get into our industry. Anyways.
You see, I have another take on that, Dave.
I knew you would have one. I knew it was going to. That's why I wanted to get
you're all buying into it and feeding me here on this, because my take on this was, why haven't we as an industry incorporated this in there before? In 1993, I went to work for a company up in Washington, D.C., and we were implementing the PDA program. Remember the little handheld PDA? You could write on it and do that. And we implemented a program for University of Maryland to do all their inventories. And the guys could go in and they could scan the barcodes. Back then, that was a big deal, scanning barcodes on all the inventory, marking how many pieces, and they would do the inventory. They'd have it done. We had people running routes, doing inventories for the University of Florida or Maryland in all their locations. It was $1.5 million. Yeah, $1.5 million contract just for that piece. And we saved them 30% on their inventory costs. But we couldn't get anybody else to buy into that. Now, the second, fast forward to today, why is there not? I'm sure there is. Maybe there's a company I don't know about. But why isn't there a company that can give us these little chippy doos to stick on all of our pieces of equipment and just not be a barcode, but a Wi-Fi connector that tells us where that piece of equipment is, how it's running, where's it going, where's the GPS on it? That technology is available. This is what I was going to tell you earlier. My little laser printer here, $130, orders its own ink. It came to me yesterday through Amazon. Now that's just a little piece of equipment that I don't have to worry about it running out of ink. It orders its own ink for me. You can get refrigerators that'll order your own food for you. The stuff's out there. It's just, as a whole, we've always tried to complicate the simplest things. The simplest thing in our industry is we want to keep track of efficiencies. Why don't we have an efficiency that's a little chip sitting in a that you can attach to any towel dispenser that says when it's empty? It's a simple thing. At the bottom of the dispenser, when the towel gets to that level, it tells you it's empty. Sends a note to the custodial manager. Boom, sends it out. His guy take care of it. That is a simple thing. Why hasn't somebody done it?
Oh, they've done it, Don.
Well,
SB has a program for it.
Yeah, but it's built into their program and their systems. Yeah, I'm talking about a generic one.
You're talking about a generic version.
Yeah, that anybody can buy or get, acquire.
Buy it off Amazon and stick it on all your equipment.
Yeah.
You talking about efficiency for a manager like Javier? Whew.
Oh, that would be life-saving.
Yeah.
Very good.
This has to be a part of the professional cleaning industry going forward, more so than what it is, if we're really going to stay competitive in the market. That's kind of where I'm going with this, is I think, you know, the day of just kind of winging it, I think that's the other reason why we see so many janitorial businesses come and go.
That's why demand drives supply.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no demand for it, it'll never be out there. There has to be a demand, and that comes from Javier's end of the spectrum. And those guys have to start demanding this stuff be important to the manufacturers who are making the products.
So you're saying Javier's the one that's needing manufacturing?
It's all Javier's fault.
It's all Javier's fault. It's his fault. His fault.
Yeah, we don't have
his fault.
Robotic Internet of Things.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
it is true though. It is very important on our side. There's no doubt about that.
So, I mean, you know, I'm going to finish up with you on this one, Javier, because, you know, somebody's running a cleaning industry. You know, you've got a lot of different pieces, different people out there. How important do you feel this is going to be in your next 5 years? I think it's going to work its way up to being substantial. Yeah, it is going to be important because it is changing. I mean, everything is changing and we got to change with it. You know, we just can't be regressive about it, but I think it is going to be very important in the upcoming time all around. And I think Don had a great idea with that. I'm sorry, but that was cool. I hadn't even heard of anything like that. So
see, I'm telling you,
I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, but he keeps agreeing with you every time.
Yes.
Well, he's making sense.
Maybe you should slide his square underneath Javier. Move me to the other side.
Okay, this thing's reversed on me. I can't figure this out.
Okay, so let me see if I can do this. How's that? Is that help you, Don? Okay, guys, as you can see, folks, we have some good times here on Talking Clean and Dirty World. The subjects usually are very important depending on how you look at it. If you're like me, as Bobby said, and I just got so caught up in everything that I was doing that I just kind of passed over the terminology. Don't let the terminology be a stumbling block. AI, computers, robotics, your cell phone, it's all technology that's out there. Make use of it. I think that's what Javier is saying here. Mm-hmm. If you're a cleaning contractor, you're in this world, you're going to have to step up. The day of doing it by pen and paper, totally, I'm not going to say you'll never use it, but totally doing it that way is probably outdated. Anyway, please subscribe and like us here on our YouTube channel at Jim Supply. And if you don't share it, other people can't benefit. If you have a question, you have a thought, or you have a topic that you'd like for us to discuss, send it my way. All of the notes will be in the bottom, along with all of our addresses and our websites. So please make sure that you keep your life healthy, positive, and proactive. Till we talk again. Thank you for watching.
Talking clean in a dirty world. Talking clean in a dirty world. Dirty, 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 dirty world. Talking clean in a dirty world.